So in the meantime, folks,
Thanks
the next 24 to 48 hours are going to be all about the winners and losers, right? And a whole lot of second guessing. And I suspect a lot of folks will probably wish they had spoken to my next guest, District Media Group President Beverly Hallberg. You know, it's been an eventful campaign season, the usual hijinks and hiccups. Before I get to your winners and losers, though, I saw you posted some pro tips. I got to ask you a little bit more about it. You say, if you're running for office, don't dance. What is that all about?
Well, we saw a lot of candidates, especially Democrats, as we approached midterms, thought that they could dance their way into the hearts of Generation Z. So you had these videos posted with candidates, not surprisingly, dancing very awkwardly. I think Beto O'Rourke took the cake for his awkward hip dance that he did in response to a so-called women's rights video. And so here is my pro tip. If you're a candidate, don't dance. If you're a candidate who thinks you can dance, don't dance. The odds are that it's actually going to come across poorly, and nobody will ask the question, why didn't candidate so-and-so dance? So it's loser from the majority of people.
Yeah, no, it ain't pretty at all. Now, you also, another pro tip, you say if you stand with women, you probably shouldn't call them cockroaches?
Yeah, we saw this from a host on The View who called women roaches if they plan to vote for the GOP. Here's the thing. It's offensive on the face of it. I think that's very obvious. Right. But it doesn't work. I mean, no, people aren't watching The View to begin with, but women are going to go out there and vote for their kids, for their small businesses, for their families, regardless of what they're called. And all it does is turn off women to even the progressive causes. And frankly, progressives are going to need women as we go along.
All right, let's go with your election losers.
My election losers are any candidate, specifically Democrats, who thought that the winning issues would be to focus on January 6th, Donald Trump, and climate change. The closer we got to elections, the more it became very apparent that these were the losing issues. It was the economy and inflation. But the candidate who takes the cake for me is Stacey Abrams, not just because she ran on the issues that weren't the winning issues, but also because this past weekend she decided to wear Tennessee orange while in an interview, even though her Georgia Bulldogs were facing off against them. That is the most out-of-touch thing that you can do to football country. She was blasted for it on Twitter, and rightly so, and just shows how out-of-touch she is.
You pick up the most amazing nuances. All right, I got a minute or so. The winners.
My winner are any of those candidates who did focus on economic issues, but I want to point out Lee Zeldin as my winner because he's somebody who focused on crime in New York, where that is the #1 issue, and he himself was a victim of somebody trying to knife him on stage, and in his Long Island neighborhood, there was even a shooting. So he focused on that. It's authentic, and his opponent, Kathy Hochul, has said that he's just trying to scare New Yorkers, but for those New Yorkers who care about this issue, I think they may actually pull the trigger for Lee Zeldin in blue New York. It's going to be exciting tonight. Well,
I think everyone in New York cares about it unless they live in a doorman building and the limo's always waiting for them. 30 seconds. The candidate on either side of the aisle that you wish would have come to you for some training.
So this is shocking because he's actually a very good communicator, but Governor Ron DeSantis, for this one reason, because he is in the spotlight, I think he does such a good job. He took a personal attack against Gavin Newsom talking about his hair gel. And I just think leave the personal attacks aside. He's somebody who's leading the charge on communication. I'd just like him to switch that.
Although you got to admit, hair gel is a nice target, though.
It is, but it doesn't do any good. Let's leave the personal aside. Be tough, take on the media. That's all you need.
That's why you're the pro. Beverly, thank you so much. Talk to you again real soon.